Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. These are messages for the highest and the greatest good of the Empath Collective, part of the Elsh Collective, of course. Empaths, light workers, starseeds, and healers, awakened and awakening souls, and the collective journey at large here on Mama Gaia. Know that if this message has found you or you have found it, that there is something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. Feeling Fridays, December 1st, the beginning of a new month. I'm hearing the coming of the light as I get into this message, and I'm going to get into a little bit of the meditation, but I can't emphasize enough right now how much we can really benefit from working with the cycles of the light right now. As we move into the darkest period of the year in terms of shortest days, there's a really interesting kind of energy with regard to playing with the light that wants to come through here. Archangel Sandalphon coming through for these messages of soul support for the Empath Journey and the Empath Collective here on Mama Gaia, and showing me the seal spirit. And actually I was going to pull down animal speak, and I didn't even do that. I just was so excited to get into this message. Let me go pick that up for 1 second. As you can see on the board, on the little but mighty board here, play in the boring is one of the things that I heard here. Just give me 1 second while I get that. This energy of playing in the boring and finding play in the things that are seemingly boring at the moment, playing with them. Okay, he wants me to take a look at seal spirit for a second here. I hope that it might be, let's see, sea lions and seals are under the same. Yeah, this makes total sense. Okay, because we're talking here about play, about finding wonder and play again in the seemingly, I heard quote unquote boring things. Art, creativity, writing, poetry especially is what he showed me, and also the rabbit spirit coming through again with regard to this playfulness, this playful aspect, this kind of connected to the Fey realm, right? This playful, cunning aspect of the rabbit, the trickster, shape-shifting aspect of the rabbit, okay? Trickster, unfortunately, generally speaking, in our culture and in cultures at large, right? And when I say our culture, I'm speaking specifically here in North America and in many kind of Judeo-Christian influence type cultures. The trickster it's seen as a negative thing, right? But it's only being seen from a very one-dimensional point of view, because trickster energy essentially is energy that plays with meaning, that plays with words, that plays with energy, that through that play we explore and we learn and we grow, okay? And it's also just like, it's like the jester. This is the energy of humor, of using humor to enlighten, humor to educate, humor to expand our consciousness, okay? So the keynote, and of course that's very creative, right? I just wanted to kind of bring that in as well. Yeah, and I'm not missing anything there. Okay, so he showed me the seal being very playful, being fun, having fun, a kind of childlike energy around the seal. And the keynotes here for the seal are active imagination, creativity, and lucid dreaming specifically. Seals and sea lions amuse and fascinate most people. Both are part of the order of mammals known as Pinnipedia, which is usually translated as fin feet, but it literally means feather feet. So this is really interesting because, you know, he's pointing me to this passage as like light as a feather, really lightening our energy, the light, the feather feet, um, being something that we can really tap into right now to help lighten our energy as we move into the darkest time of the year. Okay. um, and of course, seals are more at home in water, and this also refers to this connection to our emotional body, right? This is just something that he's bringing through now, right now. And that's it. I don't think he really wants me. He wants me to read this particular passage. This is the one passage he wants me to share with you. Keep a notebook with you as the imaginative faculty is about to be awakened and stimulated. Seals and sea lions can teach you how to develop and focus the imagination. They can teach you to draw upon their energies to impact upon the quote unquote real world in which you operate every day. Seals and sea lions can also keep us grounded so that we don't get lost or caught up too strongly within the imagination. And this has to do with the fact that it's interesting because there's this part here that says the name seal comes from the Anglo-Saxon. I hope I'm saying this right. It's spelled Seolb, seolb, meaning to drag, named after the manner in which they move upon the land. So, like a child crawls or is connected and very grounded to the land, right, before the child starts to walk, and even when the child is walking and as we grow, but as children, we're very much connected to the ground. We play, we roll in the ground, we run, we like to go outside and be outside, right? It's a natural thing we want to do as children, right? Simultaneously having this very creative, active imagination where you get to play. Archangel Sandalphon is also showing this to me about visualization, about things that you perhaps want to happen in your life, things that you are perhaps trying to manifest, right? And not even trying. We're not even going to use that word. This is more about things that obviously he really wants us to just operate. This is interesting. He's telling me to not even take it that far in terms of manifestation, just to be in a space where we are present and operating within our imaginations, the creativity of our own imagination, how far that can take us, and writing it out in a notebook, because we ground when we do that. That's what he's showing me. Archangel Sandalphon very much connected to speaking to us through music, through words, through lyrics. I feel even as far as poetry and writing for Archangel Sandalphon, especially poetics, things that sound musical. But there's something in the energy of writing, just like when we speak something out loud, really emphasizing the throat chakra here and the emphasis of expression. When we do those things and we put them somehow physically, whether through sound or through our writing and our thoughts on a page, where we physically write something out, we are grounding those energies. We are putting them into the physical to a certain degree, like is what he's showing me. There's a reverberation. So it's interesting because this could be a message here as well, going forward, moving into the month of December, moving into the season as we move towards the winter solstice, as we move towards getting darker and darker progressively, and then moving into the new moon phase of Mama Gaia, as I like to refer to it, where we start to plant seeds, right, of what we want to do for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months as we move towards the spring equinox, okay? These all apply. And I'm hearing seeding the light right now too. These are ways that we can seed our light. Seeding the light is not a complicated thing, is what he's showing me. This isn't always to do with spiritual concepts or spiritual teachings. It's about seeding frequency or energy through words, through creative projects, through writing poetry, and this comes through our imagination, okay? Connected to the divine, very much connected to the divine is how he's showing it to me. Okay, this is coming through as well. Also, if you're someone who's interested in doing things like automatic writing or channeling, of course, it's always important that you set up a sacred space when you do this, okay? Before you start channeling anything, before you start bringing anything down, all of that stuff, right? It's very important that you do those things. And even creative work that you want to do, where you want to tap into spirit, right? Tap into the divine. So I'm working here with rose quartz and with natural citrine, okay? Uplifting energies, tapping us into our joy and playfulness. Also coming, there's something about rose quartz, this is really interesting, that's very creative in combination, especially with this citrine. Because rose quartz is very Venusian in its energy, and don't forget, don't forget that the energies of Venus and the Venusian frequencies are very much connected to creativity. I'm feeling like this very excited energy coming through now, so much so that I'm like tripping over my words a little bit. Okay. Asking through the Work Your Like Oracle, and again through Mini Pamela here, the Rider-Waite Smith. Messages of soul support on finding play in the boring, finding play in the mundane, of tapping back into our own creative flow and our creative juices as empaths, being expressive through our voice, through speaking something into being, a creation into being, or through written word, right? Through written word, having a notebook around so you can write down the things that come through, okay? And what he means when he's saying, he wants me to be really clear here, play in the boring here refers to the day-to-day things that we have kind of become very routine and stuck in right now, and to find ways to pepper that with play. Pepper it with play. Making it a little spicier, making it a little flavorful, right? How can we do things day to day and make them more fun? Play music, you know, dance it out before you start something. See it as like a game, okay? Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Answer the call. So, this is a very specific nod to any kind of creative projects that the Empath Collective at large has right now, that we each individually have at large, or perhaps in certain groups. This is about answering that call and answering this question: what is your soul calling you to do creatively? I'm getting a lot of writing energy coming through here. I'm getting a lot of, I'm even seeing dance, I'm seeing creative projects, I'm seeing stage, I'm seeing working like a creative ensemble working together. It could even be creating art, graphic art, design. This could be something like even YouTube videos, like really interesting topics. You're approaching them from a much more creative perspective. He wants me to pop a few more cards on this because there's some multiple messages that want to come through here with regard to that. It's going to be different for everybody is what he's telling me, but essentially this is you tapping into your creative energy. It's as simple as that. How can you do that? He's showing me people cooking right now. He's showing me gardening, decorating. I'm seeing somebody put Christmas lights on a tree. Yeah. And not even a Christmas tree, like just a tree outside, you know? Look at that. The ever-unfolding rose. Cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. Okay? Okay, so this is another specific message here with regard to perhaps something that you have endured, experienced in your life, that perhaps you want to write about, you want to write a story about, you want to do something expressive with it, do something creative with it. I'm seeing like even some kind of a, I'm seeing it through the body, even through expressing it through the body, whether that be through dance, Yeah, like I'm seeing like modern dance, like a story through movement. Okay. There's something very, very healing in that. He wants one more. Very, very healing in that. Cracked open. It's happening. And this is something that perhaps you've been thinking about for a while, that you want to do, that can be incredibly healing for you. Two more. Awakening. Yeah. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. This is a nod to tapping into your true authentic self through this creative expression. And that is a general message for every one of us. And share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. Look at that. Yeah. Sharing your voice. Both of these these two feel very specific, these messages. These two feel very much for the collective in its entirety. Okay. Really emphasizing for me expression and coming out of your cave. Okay. And he's saying the reason why he's bringing up play in the boring is because we make this a bigger deal than what it really is. We make being creative a bigger deal than what it is, because we are creative every day in everything we do. The breakfast we make, the coffee we make, the way that we put our clothes on, how we express ourselves. Those are creative actions. And there's a spectrum he's showing me of creativity. We often think creativity means you need to be an artist, or you need to be somebody who is engaged in creative work professionally, perhaps, right? Or somebody who has an audience that, you know, is viewing that type of thing. But he's saying that's like a side, he's showing me it's like almost like a side effect of what it is to actually be creative, right? And when you tap into your creative energy, you're essentially tapping into your life force energy. And he wants us to get more in tune with that. Yeah, the crumbling at the bottom of the deck. What are you clinging on to? This goes back to the healing with the ever unfolding rose. And in general, how when we creatively express ourselves, we tap into our sovereignty. We tap into our freedom. And then all the false programming, all the indoctrination, the preconceived notions, they just crumble away. So where perhaps are you holding on to or clinging on to these preconceived notions around what it means to be creative, and thinking you need to have like all this time to do that, when in fact you can just play in the boring? That's one way that you can just start. How can you make something that seems menial, seemingly boring, and make it fun? Archangel Sandalphon showing me like a mother who is getting her child to do like a task, like clean their room, and telling them it through the lens of a story. Okay, asking through Pamela's mini deck now for messages of soul support around this. He wants me to focus on the crumbling. What are you clinging on to, and ways to liberate? He's showing me 1 foot stuck in spirit here and 1 foot in the physical, and this wobbling between both. But he's also showing me through this that there's a creative energy that you can access in the physical, just like this lemniscate, this figure 8 infinity symbol, where you are finding inspiration in the seemingly mundane things. He wants me to give an example here. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Okay. 6 of Cups coming out in reverse. Okay, so that is a huge nod to the crumbling here, because nostalgia, I'm just gonna put these up together here, you can see. So nostalgia comes from the Greek word nostalgia. And nostalgia, the root of it, nosos or nostos, where it comes nostalgia, actually means like a sickness. So nostalgia, you know, oftentimes we use a synonym like longing, right? When we're longing for something from the past, when we look back and we think about our childhood or the past and how beautiful things were, and we miss it, right? Archangel Sandalphon really wanting to emphasize this here with it coming out in reverse, that this is where it may be holding us back, where we may be reminiscing a little bit too much. And very much in the root of this, in the Greek root word for this, it's a bit of a sickness, okay? It's getting us, essentially what he's saying to me, it's like it's got us disillusioned, where we're not actually engaging in the present and understanding that that the present is a gift. Present. Cheeky about that's cute. Okay, so yeah, being very aware of that when that comes out. This is a 6 too, so these are Venusian energies again. Look at that, Ace of Wands. He wants me to end it here. This is divine inspiration. This is you tapping back into your creative spark. Remember that the wands are your spirit, the energy of spirit, your energy, your frequency, what you're passionate about, the divine spark, this inspiration, okay? And it's interesting because he's really pointing me to the fact here. He's really wanting me to emphasize that this Ace of Wands, right? And it's interesting because all the aces, different hands come out in different directions. With the Ace of Wands, it's coming in from the right. It's being held in the right hand, okay? So this is about doing it. This is about putting it into action. Look at that. And letting your guard down. 9 of Wands. Taking that, he's showing me this figure taking these wands and knocking the rest of them down. Because this is connected to outdated beliefs, or he's saying they are outdated because he's showing me a lot of this is like programming like through the family, right? Like when you were discouraged from doing something fun, stop goofing around, stop playing, right? There's nothing practical about being creative, that type of programming. But he's also showing this to me as well with regard to the misunderstanding around that and how play is essential to life. And going back to the seal, going back to the rabbit, going back to the animal kingdom, right? This is an energy of when you see animals in the wild, they play with each other. It's an integral part of their development and their interaction, okay? I'm going to end it there. Thank you to Archangel Sandalphon for coming through for this message, for the seal spirit and the rabbit spirit, for being here with us. And I thank you for being here with me. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.